Hell, it's Base Trade TV.
Welcome to the final match, guys. The ace match, the final showdown between these two players. One will qualify for WCS Season 2 Challenger League, and the other, sadly, will have to go home and try again another day. Spawning here, though, in the lower left corner of the map, from Evil Geniuses, it's going to be Stephano.
And in the top right, in the purple, also playing for Team Evil Geniuses, it is going to be Demuslim.
Again, normally you'd expect a sad situation with a team kill and players not wanting to fight one another, but these guys were happy to go at it. And I don't think any ill will between these two, no matter who succeeds, who comes out of this. But, you know, we're kind of keeping an eye on Demuslim for cheese, but you know what? He's got an SCV queued up for 12.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And also a bit of a, good mind game situation here for Demuslim, because Stephano is going for the 10 scout, being worried about another 11-11.
And he's wrapping around the sides of the map. Again, we point this out. There's the fact that this is a new map. The 11-11 locations haven't been established. You play on Frost, you know every single location someone's going to 11-11 you. But Stephano, it might seem like a waste, quote unquote, but it's safe than sorry, and I like that he's doing it.
Yeah, looks like we finally might have a normal game on our hands. I mean, Stephano still has the possibilities of, doing some sort of 2-base all-in, but Demuslim with this gas timing and barracks timing, I think he's just gonna take it in for the standard macro game.
Look at these two all proper. Good luck, have fun, Benjamin.
Yeah, I think they're being a bit silly.
Well, they deserve to be. They of course know each other really well, and all these other sort of out-of-game experiences together. But the reality is, guys, for WCS, this is your career as a StarCraft 2 player. Who makes it into Challenger League? Yes, there's a nice prize pool associated with it, but there's where you rise from. There's where you climb to the top. And I gotta be honest, Demuslim, I think a lot of people feel like Demuslim's probably deserving of this, but it's weird to consider both of these players have been out of the spotlight for quite some time. Stephano, quote unquote, retired, but for a retired player to make it to the WCS Challenger League would be amazing in and of itself. Same goes for Demuslim, though. He'd finally be able to break that stigma of being the quote unquote ladder hero. It kind of sucks, the negative connotations that come with both these players, because they're both very talented and very fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a fan of Demuslim. I just like watching his stream, and I like to play some Terran sometimes as well, and you can learn quite a bit from his stream. But I mean, has to be said as well, he was on a bit of a break during the Christmas times, before and after, and started doing a bit of a comeback again when he regained motivation for January, or I think it was when he started streaming again. So he's back at it now, and trying to qualify.
It's funny too, because when he was hardcore gamer mode on Evil Geniuses, he would never stream. They couldn't twist his arm to stream, and that's all he's been doing for the longest time now. And I think he's starting to get into it, which is kind of nice to see. Either way, Reaper's still just kind of tapping around for the time being. Unfortunately, the Queen spawns, so not a lot more comes out of this, and we don't see that 3 Reaper opening. We don't even see the second Reaper opening, actually. Or sitting at home. Never mind.
Yeah, I think Demuslim does prefer the 2 Reaper one. I don't think I've seen him do the 3 Reaper one, but it's possible that he does it as well. But he's just gonna play it completely normal here, and there's no second gas or anything, so we're gonna see. Yep, there's the 3rd CC, and it's not gonna be Banshees or anything like that. Just completely normal bio-stylistic play.
This is a map too where we talked a little bit before. We'll bring it up again. The 3rd base is very questionable. Which is the best to take? It's so hard to decide because there's advantages and disadvantages to both. We often see people taking the further away ones, but for Demuslim, with the 3rd command center coming down very quickly, I don't think he's going to be in a rush to take that 3rd base anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I mean, the Terran player, it's not bad for a Terran player to expand towards the Zerg either, because you can set your rally there and put the bunkers up. So as a Terran player, I'm not sure if it matters that much, but as a Zerg, I think we see the 3rd for Stephano going down in the defensive location.
Well, I like this other one too for the Terran player, because you can wall this off pretty decently, and then suddenly all of a sudden all you have to worry about is this one choke point sort of in the central portion of all 3 bases. So it's, again, there's pros and cons. Watchtower control, it's weird. Watchtower control I thought was going to be, when we first saw this map, well, before we saw a single game on it, I looked at this map, I saw the watchtowers, I'm like, bam, those cover so much of the map in the middle. These are going to be so important to hold on to. But it just doesn't seem to matter. Players just play around or through them.
Yeah, indeed. But yes,
actually, I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Have you played Demuslim on ladder or Stephano? Just.
I mean, I think I've met Stephano a few times, but he plays Sparko, so a lot of
It's
the
always
time I
hard
don't
to
even
tell.
know about it. But I've met the Muslim a few times, yeah.
So what would you say his his go-to would be here?
Well, yeah, just, I mean, he goes for the just normal play, really. He goes for the 2 medivacs, move out with a bit of Bioforce after the Reaper Hellion pressure. Just really, really standard, kind of like innovation, like old innovation stylistic play with the, you know, quick 1-1, do the medivac timing, and then, you know, you do another timing with 2-2 maybe. And if you can't, you know, if the Zerg gets momentum, you'll see the Muslim just fall back, get the Thors, you know, kind of Thor, Hellbat, Marauder, Marine, stay back, get the 4th base. If he's able to do a lot of damage, then you'll see him be a lot more aggressive, drop everywhere, and, you know, do really good micro. He's got really good micro in engagements. So we'll have to, I'm sure we're going to see a lot of, you know, great split from the Muslim as always in the mid stages of the game.
Well, Stephano getting a little bit aggressive here with his creep spread. I don't think he knows. I mean, he sees the army here. He's going to actually poke with it. I thought this was going to be for creep spread, but he's actually looking to chase off the Hellions. This is my town. Of course, focuses down that one really low one. Really nice move there.
First blood.
This is 1 Hellion, but kills 3 fresh tumors, so I'd say that's not a bad trade at all.
It's always weird to consider what trade with tumors is, though, because you look at it this early, and I mean, it's free, right? It's energy, it's time, is what you're really killing.
Yeah, but it's just kind of, I mean, if you can push the creep back as a Terran player, it just puts so much more like your medivac move out will be so much easier to do damage with. Like, if you can keep the creep back, it's going to be so much easier to, you know, move across the map and just get a good position, get good engagements. Everything just gets a lot easier if you can push that creep back. So if you can keep doing that, that would be awesome for him.
Well, as far as the Muslim goes back at home, he hasn't exactly set up a wall, but he is preparing for defense of this base. I like the bunker coming down next to the mineral lines. Again, like, if you're a Terran player and you don't expect a Zerg player to do a run by, you're doing it wrong. And more importantly than that, at a high level, you're going to expect Banley run bys, which is really scary to deal with if you don't have this bunker down. So he's even going to wall off in front of it too, which I really especially like.
Yeah, that's pretty important. That's really good to have for sure. And at the same time, we see Stephano going for the 4th base quite, you know, aggressively there. A little bit surprising.
You know, one scary thing too for Terran players that we've seen happen actually a couple times up to this point is, you know, there's so much dead space on the map. It looks like it's perfect for dropping, but there's a lot of areas you can't unload either. So medivacs die with full cargo a lot, especially between this new 4th and the main. All that jungle area you can't walk upon, sadly.
Yeah. Indeed, that's completely true. One reason, I guess, why Stephano is taking this, you know, more offensive 4th is that he's got a lot more creep here. So I assume that's the main reason he takes his base there. Because if you look on the right side, the creep doesn't stretch far at all. So that would be a lot harder to defend for him. So I guess this is going to be the best choice for him.
Yeah, playing a little bit blind is never fun, especially when it's right next to something important like a base. But, you know, there's a lot of Banelings waddling around. We got speed coming up here in a moment, but I don't know that this is enough. He certainly can't engage off of creep. If he forces a fight on creep, I think Stephano takes a pretty good fight, at least against this small of a composition. But 2 medivacs fully loaded out are heading towards the main forward to Muslim, and because of this 3rd or 4th, he should be able to see this, especially with the tumors. So unfortunately, he's now forced to split this giant push over here on the right or the drop. And looks like he's going to respond to the fight on the right, but really it was a bait, because it looks like here comes those double drops unloaded here. Drones are picked off like crazy. Good try and focus this down, but ooh, nice hot pickup out of Demuslim.
Yeah, nice micro over Demuslim, attacking in 2 different places. Stephano does kill some Marines on the right side now, but drop in the main. Well, Midas are out now, so Stephano also dealt with this quite nicely himself.
Ooh, that one medvac's so low. It's going to lose his cargo. Well, looks like the drop over here and the attack was also pushed back at the same time.
Yes, Stephano does hold quite well. He did lose drones at his 4th, I think, because I saw him make drones to the 4th, and I was quite impressed how he was able to hold off the Muslim's pressure whilst also droning the 4th at the same time. So he was doing really good in macro, but those drones did die, so he's trying to replace those now to get that gas income a bit higher. Meanwhile, 2-2 finishing up for the Muslim. Is he adding those factories yet? No, he's adding 3 more barracks now, so we'll have to wait and see if he's going to go for 1 or 2 more factories later with the tech labs, because I know he does like to go for the transition into Thor.
It's almost necessary though, because like how else do you really deal with Mutalisks? It's so difficult to force engagements. The idea is like, you know, when you do force those engagements, you do as much damage as you can while they're there. Either way, nice snipe on that base. Goes for the main once again, but Mutalisks and Banelings are here waiting.
Yeah, that's actually a really nice snipe. Not having a 4th as a Zerg player, while the Terran, he's not making his 4th yet, but he's getting that second factory's finished.
That's what I was talking about. You can't unload while you're running away there.
Yeah. Really nice move though. Distracting, I think, to Stephano at the right side while sniping the 4th.
But swooping in from behind. Stephano's not going to be late to the response on this. Gets the Queen. Not bad. But these Hellbats are out of position, so the surround goes off, and Banelings clean up this drop like nobody's business.
Yeah. And 3-3 on the way for Demuslim. That's quite a big deal, because with that 4th base being denied, and, you know, he's denied a bit of mining at the 3rd there for a bit, so Stephano's gonna struggle to have a lot of, you know, gas to work with, so it's going to be hard for him to go towards the hive anytime soon.
You know, it's surprising too. We look at the resources lost. Not only is significantly larger in this because of the big force engagements, but it's been a lot of guerrilla hits out of Demuslim, and Stephano kind of responding and under-responding at certain times. So we don't see this like giant collision of resources lost, which is kind of scary to consider. You know, Stephano's going to be comfortably having this big bank, but not quite defended up over here. The barracks are a nice wall actually. SCV's pulled immediately to try and avoid death. Command center is lifted, but does okay, he was going to respond. The choke is going to play really nicely into this.
Has to repair
the Banelings, the Banelings, the Banelings, the Banelings! Oh, the barracks and the Marines go down, but he soaks up so many Banelings with that hit. He can actually chase into this a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Third died. That's such a big deal.
Yes. He is building a 4th behind this to help try and make up the difference, but picks up even a couple more Banelings on the way, not too bad. Demuslim's army supply, though, not where it needs to be to overwhelm for a big counterattack.
Yeah, Demuslim, you know, has done reasonable damage with killing that 4th, etc. But, you know, Stephano, meanwhile, with the trades he's been having, he's not really lost that much, so he's been able to get quite ahead in army supply.
Thor goes down. Oh, the depot's still down. This lets the Lings right on in. Demuslim's base has been compromised. At this point, I think his best bet's to go force a base trade, and yep, he's going to send 3 medevacs to the main while the rest of the army tries to segment this off. Trying to split from these Banelings, though, there might just be a little too many, so he picks up what he can to get out of here.
All the Banelings just die, but, I mean, generally...
I think Stephano's got too much.
Yeah, base trades generally favor Zergs a lot as well, because you can just, you know, make a bunch of Banelings at home and, you know, make like 40 Banelings in a corner, and then eventually you can just trade off the units in your base whilst killing the opponent's base.
Stephano's supply is just overwhelming at this point. Even if they both clear out each other's bases, then it comes down to one last sort of fight. Demuslim just doesn't have the army count to deal with this. Medevacs are great, but as you point out, just a couple Banelings could level the playing field very quickly.
Stephano still has a lot of army left, and Demuslim not so much. And
the Banelings
Stephano coming home now.
He tries to pick them up in the medevacs. A nice move out of Demuslim, but does he have enough in the main? Baneling's going off on not a lot of good targets right now, but the Mutalists might just be enough. This split is crazy out of Demuslim. The Banelings are cleaned up, but the Marine count is just non-existent, and this looks like it's the end of Demuslim's life. Medevac's in full retreat, but what does he have behind this but barely one base? Everything on fire. Good game well played is called, and ladies and gentlemen, Stephano will qualify for WCS Season 2. A retired player, if you will.
Oh, man. I mean, yeah, Stephano played a good game, and he takes it home in just a normal macro game. He's defended really well and ended up with a bigger army, so he was able to make that big attack to kill off the 3rd, and after that, it's, I mean, pretty straightforward.